Hey everyone, my name is Courtney Budzyn and this is What's for Din. Today I'm going to be showing you my version of ratatouille. This is an extremely healthy dinner that you can make for your family. It's perfect for if you've had too much cheesecake the past week, like me. So let's go over the ingredients and we'll get started. So you're gonna need some extra virgin olive oil, some whole canned tomatoes, yellow pepper, red pepper, zucchini, tomatoes, yellow squash, eggplant, some chopped up parsley, and a little bit of fresh basil if you have it, onion, garlic, and then we have dried oregano, red pepper flakes, and Italian seasoning. You don't have to use those, you can use any seasonings you want. So I'm going to start off by showing you how we roast the peppers for the first layer. It's important that you roast the peppers because it gives the sauce an insane amount of flavor. So don't skip this step. It's really simple. All I did was take the guts out of the peppers. And all you do is put them face down on a baking sheet, like this. You don't put any salt, no pepper, no olive oil, nothing. So all I do is throw these in the oven at 500 degrees for about 30 minutes until they develop a lot of color on the outside, and I'll show you what that looks like when it's there. So now that we're waiting for our peppers to get nice and browned up, we're gonna start working on the sauce. So in my pan, I have enough olive oil to cover the entire bottom of the pan. And in that, I'm just gonna put all of this garlic. As you can see, it's a lot, but you want a lot of garlic in here. And what we're looking to do is get a little bit of color on these, but not so much that it makes them bitter. Okay, you can see that this has enough color on it. That's what we want. It's gonna give it a nice sweet flavor, but we don't want them any more brown than that, so we're gonna turn down the heat. And I'm just gonna add my onions. Now the cool thing is you can rough chop this as rough as you want because we're just gonna blend it in the end anyway. I'm gonna mix that in. Cook these until they're slightly translucent. Add some salt. Pepper. Italian seasoning. Red pepper flakes. Red pepper flakes and oregano. So the onions are nice and translucent now. We're gonna go ahead and add our whole tomatoes. Now don't worry that they're whole because we're just gonna blend this all together. You can kind of smush them down with your spatula. I'm gonna turn up the heat. And we're gonna let this come to a simmer. Okay, now that our sauce is coming up to a simmer, we're gonna turn the heat down to about medium. Now what you wanna look for is, see how this is kind of watery? As I pull back all the vegetables, it fills in with liquid. What you want is this to be a really thick sauce. So we're just gonna keep simmering this until it reduces and it's nice and thick, and I'll show you what it looks like when it's there. Okay, I just pulled out my peppers out of the oven. They were in there for about 15 minutes. So depending on how hot your oven is, it may take longer or less time. So all I'm gonna do is scrape these right up. Doesn't matter if they crumble up or anything. See how they have that nice color on them? That's what you want. Put them right into our sauce. And mix that in with the tomatoes. And let this simmer with the tomatoes a little bit longer until the sauce becomes a little bit thick, and then we're gonna blend it up. This has been simmering for an additional 5 minutes, and as you can see, watch when I pull it away, it doesn't fill up entirely the gaps with liquid. That's exactly what you're looking for. You want a really thick sauce. So I'm gonna just quickly scrape all the bits off the bottom that are stuck. It's good flavor. We're gonna blend this up really nicely. Usually for soups and sauces and stuff, I like to use an immersion blender, but in this case, I want it extremely pureed, so I have to use the big one. So all I'm gonna do is very carefully, you really shouldn't do this when it's hot, but I'm a bad example. Just pour this in there, we'll blend this up. Put a towel over it, just make sure it doesn't fly out. All right, so at this point, I made sure if it needed any more seasonings like salt and pepper, and I added a little bit more salt, so go ahead and do that at that point. And we're just gonna add this to our bottom layer of our pan. You can use any kind of pan you want. I'm just using a lasagna pan today. Okay, now we're gonna add the vegetables to it. All right, so now is the fun part where you get to assemble it and be creative and all that jazz. So I cut up all of my vegetables practically into the same thickness as best I could. Doesn't have to be perfect. So I always start with the eggplant, then I go on to a yellow one, and then my zucchini, and then the tomato. Eggplant, oops, sliding down, yellow squash, zucchini, tomato. So you just keep doing this around the entire thing. Okay, I got all the vegetables in. It's all assembled. It looks really pretty. So I'm just going to put my parsley, fresh parsley and basil over the top. Looks so pretty. Some salt. Black pepper, my Italian seasoning, just a little bit, and a little bit of cayenne pepper, give it a little bit of heat. Okay, and this goes into a preheated oven, 350 degrees for about an hour. Now you can either leave it in longer if you like your vegetables extremely soft and breaking apart, or if you want them to kind of hold their shape, leave them in less. So just keep testing it to see where you like it. And I'm gonna put it in the oven now. All right, it was in the oven for about an hour and 10 minutes. And it looks beautiful. Here's the big one, the finished result. I already dug into it. I'm just gonna put a little bit of Parmesan cheese on top because it's Parmesan cheese. And then we'll try it out. Who would have thought that vegetables can taste this good? The vegetables are cooked just enough so they're not falling apart, but they're extremely tender. You can just cut it with your fork. So I hope you enjoyed spending time with me. All of the ingredients will be listed in the description box. Please subscribe to my channel because I have many more recipes to share with you. And like this video, and I will see you guys later. Thanks for watching. Bye.